Hi, and welcome to this new video on my channel.
Hello.
Today I'm gonna show you how to make a folk-driven house track like AVICII or the German producer BUNT. To let you know what style we're going to produce, I will play you a short snippet of the end result. Before we start, let me tell you that I have a brand new sample pack out now. It's called Vibes and it contains over 150 ambience loops and one-shots. So if you're searching for a solution to let your songs sound fuller, this pack is for you. Get it now, link is in the description. Now let's start with the tutorial. First, grab a random piano and build chords and a melody on top until you like it. It could be something like this. The next step is to take the melody and build a powerful lead synth. For this, just pick some square leads and a few plucked presets. Route all of them to one channel and start with processing them. A bit of OTT, a bit of soundgoodizer and an EQ to cut the low end under 200 kHz. For the attack, a transient shaper, and to place the lead right in the mix, add a reverb linked to a peak controller. If you don't know how to do this, watch this video in the top right corner. As needed, put a fresh air or a sooth on top if your high end is not crispy enough. In the end, sidechain it and we're ready with the lead part. Your chord section consists of two parts, the piano and the synths. For the piano, build the following rhythm. I chose one true piano and two Nexus presets, but you can use any piano you want, it's only important to have a hard and organic sound. A simple EQ and a bit of reverb are enough. That's our piano. As you create the synth chords, take some decent pads which are not too aggressive. Mix them like we did it with the piano, and now we have the fundamental part of our track. Let's have a short listen. What's very popular in the most tracks of AVICII and BUNT is the guitar. So if you're not the best guitar player like me or don't have the equipment for it, I can recommend you contact strummed guitars. They sound very realistic and are easy to use. Copy the chords and choose a fast and folky rhythm like this. As before, cut the low end and add a reverb for giving it space in the mix. Also stereoize a bit to make it wider. For the mid bass and sub, don't use gritty sounds. They should have no high end and only support the low frequency area. Sidechain the sub a bit harder than the mid bass to make sure that there's no clashing with the kick. The bass section sounds like this. As an ear candy, let's add a banjo like BUNT does it in his tracks. There's a free instrument in the Flex library from FL Studio itself. Create an arpeggio that fits to the chords. Low cut it, put a reverb on it and maybe a bit of distortion to let it feel more like country style. Fill up the frequency spectrum with some ambient sounds or drones. Mix it in at a low volume. We just want support with this, not having the ambient sounds in the foreground. Let's jump to the drum section. BUNT is well known for his special kick that sounds punchy but also a bit airy. You can achieve this by taking a normal EDM kick and layering it with an low-cut acoustic kick. Let's have a listen. Add a clap and a tambourine every 2 bars, put a bit of attack on them. Then, what also really makes the difference is the snare every 2 bars. It have to be very reverby to give the track this wide atmospheric feeling. Last but not least, add simple hi-hats. Pan them a bit to keep the track interesting. Also lay a white noise sound under all the elements, this will bring more energy into the song. And that's it with the drop. Here's some additional tip in general, especially in folk house it's important to have everything sounding very natural and human played. You can achieve this with digital VSTs, no doubt. Just randomize the velocity of each note a bit or detune the guitar inside your plugin. All these little things will help you in the end. Now let's have a look at the build-up section. Filter in the most important elements of the drop, like the lead, the piano and synth chords, and the guitar. Make sure that the sidechain is off here. This creates tension and difference between the build-up and the drop. For the basses you need a piano, guitar and bass pattern that is more dreamy than the patterns from the drop. Just be creative. Let a guitar play the drop melody and put a lot of reverb on it. For ear candy you can add a plucky fill like this. All our new elements sound like this together. To make your track more unique and to produce like BUNT does it, we need marching snares and hits in the build-up. Build a groovy and uplifting rhythm. I came up with this. Don't forget this epic fill before the drop hits. The rest are the typical elements you know, like uplifters, risers, downlifters, some percussion loops, impacts. Just come up with something cool you like. All percussions and FX together sound like this. Before we go to the final result, let me show you what is on my master chain. First we have an Ozone 10 limiter which limits at 0 dB. To control the frequency spectrum you can use span. For build-up automation I added endless smile. To give the final touches, put an OTT at around 8% on top and create a stereo image by using Ozone Imager. Change the lowest range in mono and the upper ranges a bit wider. We are at the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel and comment what artist you want to see next time. Thank you, and now let's listen to the final result.